Okay, so hello. I wanted to do a second video about like tips and tricks of the factory and stuff. Little things I've been noticing over the last week, and because I forget I just did this, but it's already Wednesday, man. Some little things I've been noticing that I wanted to talk about for anyone who might be using the factory, right? I was going to rehash max production, minimum production, but I think that's fine, and I might do a true like how to build extra production, like how to use up some of the extra stuff we have, right? But that'll be for another video. Okay, so with that said, let's just talk. You know, I don't get the yap in videos where I'm actually talking about something. So I want to talk about destroying products. So I was about to cap out on about that. I was about to cap out earlier today on heavy shear night, right? And I was like, man, what do I do about that? All right, listen. Don't worry about this. We're overproducing like crazy, right? So I think the best bet is to just destroy your heavy shear night, because the batteries have a use, right? You might use your batteries. And you kind of want to turn those in, as well as a Jinkou T, Yazin. You can swap back and forth, right? It kind of filled. You can destroy those as needed. But your batteries and your Hedonite parts, you kind of need those to always be running, right? You don't really need this to always be... Well, actually, you do need these to always be running, but, you know. I'd say destroy your heavy Shearonite and, like, sell your batteries, sell your Hedonite parts. And if your heavy Shearonite gets too much, you can destroy that or sell it, and make sure you're selling your Jinkou T or Yazin A, right? But if you can't, if you're like, oh man, I gotta get some of this out of my inventory, it's about to cap out, right? You can always come in here and click this little trash can, and you can just destroy it, however many items you want, right? Like, oh, I don't want any of this. Destroy, right? And if you're on a controller,
Style is extremely active mid-game play. The more active, the better. Ride.
My boy Psychopathic Poro talking about Team Secret Whales. But anyway, if you're on controller, it'd be you press start and you go into destroying mode, not discarding mode. You want destroying mode. Discarding would put it on the ground. So that's destroying products. Okay, so with that said, also one thing I'm going to start doing is using my heavy Shearonite for deliveries. I was like, what's the point of making all this extra powder and stuff that's going to clog eventually when I can just sell this excess material I'm already using? So if you want to reduce your water and your plants to 30 a minute, I set it up because I was doing the double thing, but it kind of actually is a little janky, so I stopped it. This is a real bootleg stuff. You actually don't need these. You don't need this belt at all. I just have it as a catch, just in case. I should actually delete this belt, but whatever. Because this works just fine. But basically what you do is you limit this down to just 30. And honestly, look, you can do it anyway, honestly. But I did it this way. So what you'd have to do is the simple way, because I'm keeping my little my little pipe logistic splitter right here. But what you would do is you would just put one splitter down, just one of these splitters, and you would run one of them, or actually you would need two, I'm sorry. So I have two here. So you need two, where one is going out to a fluid supply unit, and then the one on the first right here is going over. So you can think of this as the first splitter is splitting into 30-30, 30 going forward, 30 going to the right, right? So 30 water, I'm sorry, let me back up a second. Water pumps generate one water every 60 seconds, every second, I'm sorry. So in 60 seconds, they generate 60 of them, right? But buildings use water at a rate of 1 every 2 seconds, right? This is what trips a lot of people with fluid. And so every building needs half of a water pump. That's why we do conduits and all that, and convergers. And so when you split it off at this first splitter, you're getting 30 going forward, 30 going to the right. Now this is going to the Yazin, right? We're making 30 a minute. Yazin powder or Jinkou powder, so you need 30 a minute water, right? And that matches up to give you 30 a minute Jinkou solution to go into the filling unit, right? So that's that. But if you want half you want 15 to make half the plants, right? Because you only want half the shredder, because one shredder shreds one Jinkow plant into 2 Jinkow powder. So to limit that down to 30, you must supply it with half a belt, right? You want to limit how much is going into 15 a minute. 15 times 2, 30 a minute. That's what goes to our reactor crucible, right? So to do that, if you think of this 130 coming out the right, that's done. So the 30 going forward needs to get split into 15 and sent somewhere else. So that's that left one, this pipe right here, going into the fluid supply. That's 15 water a second going into the fluid supply. So the other amount is just going straight forward and down. So that's how we've limited this, right? And that's what's going into here. So you could have your planting unit, you could just throw a stack of 50 and it doesn't matter. It'll limit itself because of the water, right? But if you don't, you can just, I think it's like, you need 8 plants in here, and it'll balance out to be perfect, right? But don't worry about that too much. Just put in your stack, 25, 50, 8, whatever you want. As long as the water is limited, this will give you the correct output. But you'd have to change this little setup right here. So you can, honestly, you can remove this entire belt. You can remove this whole thing and just let it come out of these two. And honestly, you could just have one belt. You can remove all this and just have this one belt, because you see how this little, like, there is plant, arrow, plant, but like here it's bottle, or it's like plant space, arrow space, plant, right? But this is like bottle space or arrow, bottle, arrow. All right, so the belt shows you the amount it's moving. So this is, think of each belt section as 1 second, right? And the arrows are separated by 2 seconds. That's actually how this works. So this is showing you this is 2 a second. I'm sorry, half a second of a unit, right? Or 1 unit every 2 seconds as it's being made, right? Every 2 seconds. That's what it's doing. So it's 30 a minute belt. It's a 30. It moves 30 products a minute. That's how these belts work. Well, when you have this space, this is 15 a minute, right? But that gives your shredding unit enough time to get both powders out, because you have 1 belt and moving 2 powder, but it's taking 2 seconds for this next one to get here, so you're good. So you can remove all of this. You don't need all this. Just have 1 belt going up into the reactor crucible if you want to do that. And your reactor crucible is already set for Yazin and Jinkow, so if you wanted to swap one or the other, it doesn't matter. You just put it in there, and it goes. Okay. So that's Jingyu balancing. So that also, you know, you don't need to use powders for deliveries for your depot node. You can just use one of the other 4 products that we don't want to cap: batteries, heavy shearonite. You can use your batteries, either one, honestly. You can use your parts if you want. You can use components if you want, honestly. And heavy shearonite. You can use any of that to do your deliveries now, and you're kind of free from Jinkow, or free from the powder. Okay, let's go back to Wuling. I want to talk about reducing your logistics even more in Wuling City if you wanted to. So your Wuling City looks a little different from mine. Your Wuling City is going to look like this, right? Some places you can do this at, I think I talked about this. You would swap Hedonite to up here to this port, and you would swap the heavy shearonite down to this port, and you would connect this Hedonite port right in, the shearonite port right down, and you delete this belt, right? So you don't have this box. I gotta update this. I gotta hit share. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I hit share to send the updates through. Let me do that right now, actually. I built that, yeah. Did I not build it? Oh, I only built it on the 2-lane. Okay, I'll build that in the NCAD later. But some other things you can do. Oops. Obviously, you're not using this. This is a mess. Don't use this. I think for anyone that has the carousel, you can go back to this version. We just have no carousel. Then you have like 4 free boxes, right? If you don't need this, if you don't need the item control port right here, you can get rid of this item control port, this splitter, and this depot loader. You can delete all 3 of those and just put them up whenever you need. parts, right? You can just do that. If you have this stuff set up, you can delete all this if you don't need the shredding unit. If you don't care about the limiting, you can delete all 4 of these, right? You can do that. That's another option you have. I don't think I'm doing anything crazy in the middle here. Yeah, okay. Also, okay, so this is a really weird thing, and I'm going to say this, but if you don't know how to do it, don't worry about it, okay? But if you need more, you can actually get rid of all 4 of these conduits here. Because these pipe logistics, we're not using that many because we don't have zircon or the cuprium being made up here. So we have a lot of extra pipe space to work with. So what you would do if you want to get rid of these conduits, you basically would reverse where this shows up. So you like take this and copy it and put it up here, right? And you would like put that there and then run this over. You would connect this over. Get that pipe. Like that. You would connect it in. And you would take this one and go down and connect that in, right? And you would disconnect the conduits and just run it straight from the pump. So you'd have this go straight down and into here. Like that. Now, for the other one, though, you're probably going to get some crosses like belt bridges, but like who cares? We have so much space to put down pipe stuff, it doesn't matter. So if you got but make bridges, who cares? Just run this out and over along this edge so it looks something like this. You run this out and like over and down, 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 down. You see that says pipe length too long? What you would do is go as far as it lets you, click, and then put a pipe control port on it, like that. You don't need to set it to anything, and it'll let you extend it more. And then you could bring it in. You could either delete all this stuff and just take it straight in, like that, or you could just connect it in like that. Just connect it into the loop, right? And then you'll do that for the same on the other side. Now, obviously, on the other side, you're going to hit this pipe thing much earlier. So you just put the item control port wherever, but you would just run it along the side and all the way down, right? So that'll free you at 4 conduits. And you would have to delete these, and you will have to run your pipes manually, okay? But it's not too bad. They don't go very far this time, right? So, and if you are trying to run them, and it's like, oh, it should not be too far, actually, but the pipe control port trick works there, too. So that's something you can do if you'd like. I don't think there had any other ways to get space. You can obviously tear down your eco farm. I have already optimized as best as I could for pylons, so there's no pylons you can really remove to get more space. And if there's a way to do it, I haven't figured out how to get these 2 boxes out yet, nor how to get these 6 boxes out, unless I move this into here, and I'm not willing to sacrifice my aesthetics for that. Okay, I think that's it for now when it comes to reducing your belts down even more in Wuling City. Oh, there is one more. I'm sorry. There's one more thing. These 2 item control ports. So if you're comfortable with this, you can just delete these and use the port itself to turn on and off. So that'll give you 2 more box spaces. Same for here. You can leave the splitter up if you want and turn the loader off and delete the split the item control port and get a space there. This same for the protocol. I meant to say that too. You can also remove the protocol stash, but it's kind of pointless because you need to put a splitter down anyway. So, but obviously you can remove this. I don't remember if I have that in the blueprint or not, but you can remove this guy as well. Now to give you some more protocol space. Okay, next. Yeah, share night protocol. Okay, conduits. Okay, so next thing. Let's say something goes wrong in your factory. Okay, so this is going to be 2 parts. One, you see how there's like no red cancels in my factory? I love it.
I love it that way.
Okay. I despise the red cancels from like imbalanced sand leaf and imbalanced water. I hate it. Okay, I'm never building a factory with that stuff in it again. Now, the cancels we have over here that are saying like, hey, I can't move but so much product right now, right? That's what this is saying. The cancels like over here that are saying, hey, heavy shear knights gotta wait a second because head knight parts coming through, or the bottles are currently working faster than the head knight, the Cuprian parts, right? That's what this is saying. These are fine. These are supposed to be here. They're telling us something about the factory. When it's just water imbalance, I hate it, okay? Now, if you're like, Senna, I want that. Like, for example, I told you that my Zircon go to 0 earlier this week, right? So when I logged in, this is how I saw it, actually. I logged in, I teleported here, and I was like standing here messing with this thing. And I noticed that grinder right there was red out of the corner of my eye. And I was like, whoa, what's going on with that? And that's what I noticed. I had like no shear knight, right? No batteries are coming down. So all this was full. All this was full. So let's say you're like, Senna, I had that happen and I want to get my stuff to not be flashing red all the time. Okay, well, you got some options, all right? So the simplest way, if you're like doing this, is to delete everything that would be considered WC like 6C, right? So with 6C, it's all battery production. That's why I named all these, right? I put what they're making in all of them. And so this is 2 times SCW battery. So that is all this. You could do something like this. See this line? I would go underneath this grinder and do this. Like that, and all the way down to the bus. See, I don't have anything on this bus wall. I did that on purpose. And then you could delete, and then you'd have to grab this stuff, right? Because what you would want is to not, the reason why I say you do it under this grinder is because you would want to accidentally not delete all of WC7 rather than accidentally deleting anything up here, right? Like, you don't really want to delete any of this. I think you got to delete it all and place it all back down, right? And then you just click these individually. All right, like that. Now, let's say you don't listen to me and you do it anyway, and you end up with something more like this. All right, you can click all these off. And with these belts that are half, you have to click it once, turns blue, click it again, it goes off, right? You click all this. Like that. All right? But I would advise you go under that and do it. Anywhere you can section off what it is. So remember, like, this right here is east. Right? I have them in very logical blueprints, right? This is east. Now, if you don't want to do all that, you don't want to set it all down and all that, you can also just come in here and hold control or shift. See this in the corner down here? I actually never seen that before. Well, let me get like a better spot. Like this. See this in the corner? Move all items with same name. Quick move equal split. Whatever device you're on is going to have something like that to tell you how to move it. Like this. What was it? More actions? Yeah, so for controller, you press A, and then it'll tell you, give me that. It'll tell you what you can do with it, right? I think when you're on touchscreen, it will come up on the left and right side, or left or right side of the screen, and show you the icons, right? But you would just move all, make sure you click down, click down into Wuling Depot all, and you can move it all in, right? You can do that. And you just come in here and do that over and over and over. And when you do that, you want to start at the end product and work backwards, because it's just weird. You just work backwards. Now, another option you can do is, like, let's say you want to do the 4 grinders. You want to do like this. You want to do all these. You're like, I want this stuff to be redone. Well, what you can do is you click all these, and then you click Save Blueprint, and you just save it as whatever the hell it is. See, it's some little default mess. And then you come in here, you delete all these, you stash all of them. You stash them, and then just put your blueprint over them. You can just put your blueprint over them, right? You can do that. That's another thing you can do. Now, when it comes, one little trick with these packaging units, so you see how the batteries are in sync together? Okay, I'm obsessed with that. My batteries have to be in sync together, okay? So if you just need to reset your packaging units for some reason, and you want those to be back aligned, all right, make sure this is already flowing correctly. And what you'll do is you'll go to production 2, packaging unit. All right, now you see how there's no arrows when you're outside the AIC. There's no arrows, right? We don't really have much space anymore to just throw stuff down. But what you'll want to do is inside the AIC, make sure it's pointing up, and then set it 2 blocks over. Like that. Because you can't tell what the hell well that's facing, right? But now when you do it here, you can see, you can put that one in the AIC. Oop, I'm at a limit. So move it over and you put another one down, right? You put another one like right there. And then you would copy, you would cut them. Control ports are annoying to put back. Let's do this. So you'd have them, now you see how they're, because these are faced up, right? So you'd have 2 of them faced up. You delete those 2 and then grab these 2 by doing multi-select. Bulk action, the bulk action, select both, and then you press M to move them. And you put them in place. And they'll start working again. Or whatever your move is, right? So that's how you do that. Now, you can do that in all of these places, okay? Like Jingyu Valley is the same concept. But, oh, I meant to go back up there. For water, however, when you're going to do it with water, actually, let me do it in Marker Stone, because Marker Stone is where you'll see this more. When you're sourced fluids of clean water and acid, when they're messed up, you have to be a little more crafty to get them right. Oh, this place is so daggum beautiful. Okay, so what you'll do with this, however, is stuff like you just turn the pumps off and let them drain out. Now you can delete the pipe and then run it again, but you have to, if you're not comfortable with that, because you're like, I may not remember how this pipe was, you just wait for it to drain out. Now it's going to take a while, especially if this is like 50. It's going to take a while. But what you can do, you can use the same trick. You can gather all these up and then make a blueprint of them. Now see, it may tell you can't make a blueprint. Okay, but this one can, so that's good. You can copy all that, make a blueprint, delete it, and then put it back down. That clears all of the sewage out. That will clear all of the clean water out. It'll clear all the cuprium ore out, and then you can set them back down. But when you do that, you need to make sure you turn off the fluid pumps, right? And then if you want to do something like that, where you delete all the buildings, and then you'll clean out the fluid pumps to do it. Acid's really easy. This acid is way easy. You just turn these off and give it a second, and they'll eventually drain out. Now you do have to be a little bit careful, because depending on where you're at, some of them may have more acid than others. So remember, these are all pairs. So this pair, this pump right here is going up into these 2. This pump, these 2. This pump, these 2. These 2, you don't get to balance these. You have to reset the whole thing, but this is really easy. You just pick it up and put it back down. All of these ports are yellow. Yellow cuprium comes out of every yellow port, okay? The only one that's different is this guy that has sewage coming out, and that's still yellow. And this guy, because it has the heavy shearnite, and it's still yellow as cuprium, all right? So if you're like, oh man, I don't know. And then all of them except this one gets cuprium powder in the item slot, right? And if you don't remember, you can honestly set all of them to just cuprium out. It won't go anywhere. As long as this one is hedanite out, you're Gucci, okay? This is the only one that matters of having hedanite out. If you reset them and you're like, I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, even though there's no belt coming out, it's like, how are you getting it wrong? And I'm saying that not to be mean to you, but because you ain't paying attention then. And you need to be paying attention when you're in here doing factory work, so your factory don't get broke. Okay? I'm not mad at you. I want you to succeed. So pay attention when you're doing factory work. Same for the waste treatment units. If you have your waste treatment units filled and they're constantly showing cancel, just make a blueprint, delete them all, put the blueprint back down. That's it. And with something like that, because it's a whole, like, it's a nice clean section, right? Let's take a look at that real quick. Where's that at? East. Because this is a nice clean section, you can just get the bulk action and go down, right? And just go down. So it'll get all the pipes and splitters for you, and you can just put another one down, right? It'll be easy peasy. So make sure that's how you would get that reset. If you need me to show you, if you're like, Senna, I'm running through that problem, can you show me? Can you show me it being filled and how to redo it? Because I just can't get it for some reason. I'm gonna first be like, okay, well, you're saying you can't get it. That means you tried. I will help you. But if you ain't try, I'm gonna be a little mad. I ain't gonna lie. Because you need to get out there and try. If you break your factory, it don't matter. You got all the blueprints still. You just put them blueprints back down. And what's broke? Exactly. Nothing. I mean, it might be broke, but you can fix it. These actually start working sometimes. This will actually show the fluid every once in a while. I think it's the offline bug, like overfilling, and it shows. I have a fix for this that I should have done, of having each individual pump here run straight up and split here and not have this stack. It's a whole thing. This way I could have freed this double split, but it's fine. Okay. Yes. Other thing is, I know I don't have the multi-clawed autofix turned on by default, and I'm not going to at this point. Oh, my game's doing that weird lagging thing. I'm not redoing these blueprints. All right. I would advise you leave this off because you don't want to be underproducing, and you need to see when it breaks. But if you're like, I can't fix this shit, Senna, yes, you can. Yes, you can. I got a nice comment this morning. I gotta respond to bro still, saying like they had some issues. They had some issues with setup, right? They got it fixed. But look, there's only a handful of things messing up your crucible. You fucked up the water somewhere, right? You fucked the water up. So go look at the setup video, or take a look at this, or look at the maps. That's why I made them, so you can look at them without having to wait on me to answer you. Or something's gone wrong up here, right? Which is part of why I don't want cancels, because if I see cancels up here, if I see those little cancel signs, I know something has gone wrong. Like, what's going on, right? Sewage should not be giving me cancels up here. So if I see cancels, I take a look to see what's going on. Now, this cancel, this is doing its thing. It's supposed to be doing this, right? And where's that other one? There's another one over here. Yeah, and that one's also doing its thing, right? So we know that's going to happen. It's because there's too much fluid running through here. So the 2 fluid kind of tries to push up against that, and it does that. So I'm actually not sure what I could do about that. I'd have to like put another spacer and then a split, another split, and then acid forward. And I don't think that would work correctly. I think it would actually mess up. It would give too much acid into here and overfill. I'm gonna be honest with you, I am a little surprised this works correctly, but actually I'm not. I know how it works. Let me be quiet, acting like I don't know how that works. But anyway, okay. So that's how you get rid of like your cancels, and you can kind of reset it without resetting your entire factory, because that's a pain in the ass. Last thing I want to talk about. Okay, so this is for you, Eduardo. This is for you. In my Portuguese subtitle, it's for you. Okay, so. I talked about, like, I'm not making a video about running conduits. I ain't teaching that. I'm just not teaching that. But I will teach you something that would help, okay? I'll teach you something that helps. So, I've shown this a little bit, but I never really specifically talked about it. So this is for anyone who's like, yes, and I want to run my conduits, all right? Like, I have my conduits, all right? So, if you did not know this trick, this exists. When you're holding little ass tail of a conduit, or what used to be electrical lines, you can teleport. What is going on in my inventory? Whenever I open it, it slows my game down. You can grab this and teleport somewhere, right? So you don't need to do this and run. Game, come back. Game, come back. What are we doing? Well, I got like 10 FPS, whatever. You don't need to run all the way down here and do this, all right? What you'll do, you'll grab it, and then you'll teleport through this wall. You click here or whatever, and you teleport through this wall. What is this slowdown I have? What the heck? It does this every once in a while. I don't know what it is. And then you'll set it down somewhere over here. Now you see, you got 166 when you come down here-ish. And what you can do is, as long as... Oh, okay, I'm back. I'm back to my normal FPS. You can just place it down and connect it. Bam, right? Now, when you're coming... Now, I would advise... I taught you this trick, but this is more of like maintenance of it. I would advise that you actually go from Wuling's, from test area up to here. Down to Marker Stone. And you see how my outlets are over there against the wall? I would not advise that. I would still put them right here next to the teleporter for if you need to do something to them. Because it's really freaking annoying to have to run all the way over there and get to them, okay? So you can do the same trick to any teleporter, alright? So you see how I'm holding a little ass tail right here? Alright, you can teleport up here, as long as it's not 200 meters away, or 230 or something, whatever it is where it snaps. So see, I have 148, now I'm up here. That's also what's going on over here. You can teleport down through the wall as well. So use that to your advantage to skip a lot of this area, including this right here, because you can put the conduits. Yeah, so I have the conduit. Let me drop this. I have my conduits here because I use this little island. Bro, give me back my FPS. So I ran them over there. I'm gonna fix this though, because I wanted to teleport here. This is like 200 meters ish. But the better thing to do, which is why I said it'd come down, coming down from test area so much easier, is because you can use this. Don't look at my goblin cave. Don't look at Gosha. There is a video on my channel, I think. I think I unlisted though, where I run my route. It's to show one of my friends because he thought Gosha was funny. All right, let me show you this real quick. So this I'm never fixing this. This is staying exactly how it is in this chaos state. Goblin, OSHA approved whatever's going on in there, okay? For those who may not know, OSHA is like a safety regulation, a safety agency here in America. So when you say OSHA, O-S-H-A. Bro, give me back my FPS, man. What the heck? But when you're coming down from test area, you end up with enough space coming out of the cave. You know what? I bet you can jump from... Oh, man, I need to try that. I bet you can jump from, like, in this cave. Oops, whoops. I bet you can jump from in this cave to, like, over here. Like, if you have it in the walls over here, you can probably make that jump. I'm not sure, though. Anyway, so when you're coming down, though, you can use this whole little platform right here. Get this wherever it can be, and you can teleport down to that guy. It's a lot easier to go down to this teleport than it is to come up from it. So that's my what is going on with my FPS? That's my last little tips and trick for the day. It's a little bit long, but you know me, my videos are long, but I'm thorough. So that's your trade-off, because I don't have editing skills like at all. I can merge 2 clips and that's about it until I figure out how to use DaVinci or whatever. Oh my god, my game's turned to crap. All right, so that's all the time I'm gonna take from y'all. I'll put my timestamps, of course, and see you in the next one.